Do, 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 do. Are we there yet? 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 We're somewhere. Remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Aha. You've probably heard that before. The tycoon. Arr, 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 arr. I'll tell you what, I'm not doing too bad the last 3 days. eBay's been on fire, on fire. 3 days, I sold $1,000 worth of crap. That's right. That's right. That's right. Uh-huh. So, who we got? Bum Crack Picker. Anissa, the junk trader. Junkiwi trader. Lag, the innocent young boy. Toilet, not fair. Anissa, you're on the toilet? Nice. Coming into the morning room while you're using the toilet. Uh-huh. Yeah. I need to make some money, man. I paid my federal income tax a couple of weeks ago, and then I paid my tax on my house last week. I'm broke. I'm tax broke. Let's don't talk about taxes again, though. I get chewed out by the side chat. People say, you know you're live. Or 24K did. Yeah, instead of 3 days, we need to get it down to 3 hours. Yeah, boy, it'd be great to just, everything that I have listed, just sell. All in the same day. Might be late with some of my shipping. My favorite subject. Yeah. Alright, skip that. Change the subject. Erase. Erase, erase. Mm-hmm. I need to get this part listed. You know what this is? Can you read that? This is a PP flow indicator assembly. A PP flow indicator assembly. 99% off. No, I got stuff that probably wouldn't sell at 99% off. Yeah, you'll tell me to donate it. I do need to purge some more. You ever heard of a PP flow indicator assembly? I thought that was funny. I don't know, I got 8th grade humor. You check the flow? Yeah, this goes on a Bissell vacuum. A PP flow indicator. That'd be kind of tough to hook up to something else. But there it is. A brand new PP flow indicator. I'm glad it's new because I wouldn't want to touch a used PP flow indicator. You're too grown giving up for that humor. That's true. You're an old man, Lag. Man, it's raining like crazy here. I bet we've got 1.5 inches of rain already this morning. Crazy rain. October rain keep coming down. How's that song go? I don't know, y'all are too young for that one. Man, it sounded like something on my back porch fell over. I don't doubt it. I got some inventory stacked out there too. I got stuff to list. Yep. Boy, nobody wants to come in early. Well, we got 6 watching. I suppose I'll keep doing the show even if only bum cracking me show up. Let's invite people to come in and chat with me. Maybe if I get some interesting people in here to chat, the show will get bigger. I should schedule guest appearances, shouldn't I? Let's see, who could I invite? How about the king of Saudi Arabia? You think he would make the trip over and visit us? He could camp out on top of my death pile. It's nice and comfy. I got lots of clothes. I went to the Lutheran rummage sale yesterday, and it was a free for all. I tell you. They're having bag day. You get a big plastic bag, and however many clothes you can put in it for $10. So I bought about 20 shirts. I think that's all I got was shirts. I may have gotten like a golf vest or two. I don't particularly like selling clothes, but when I go to the bag sale, I generally get a whole bunch of shirts that are my size. So if they don't sell, I'll just wear them. GBD. What's that? Gross bad days? The recession is over. I don't think so. We got a long road to hoe. Even if we get the election to go the right way in November, it's going to take another 2 years until we get another election that we can turn things around, and then probably a couple of years after that, it'll finally even back out. Oh, you meant gross domestic product? How could it grow? What are people making what'd you say? What grew at 2.6%? Because we can get some people in there who will actually support the oil and gas industry and pump some energy into this economy. Hey, Azure Blue, good to see you. 3 cheers for the king. Yeah, I want to invite the king over to do hip hip hooray. I want to invite the king over to be a guest on the Silverhairstacker show. Or he could just do it remote from his computer in Saudi. I won't make him come all the way here if he doesn't want to. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray for the king. Oh yeah. Yeah, after the gross domestic product got beat down. King Charles? I don't know if I want King Charles over here. He's probably a pretty good interview though. We can add up the years he was waiting to be king. How old is King Charles? He's 70 something, isn't he? He's older than I am. Bring the redcoats back. The economy can't get worse? Sure it can. How far, Mr. Sadie? Come in and chat with me. I'm in a good mood this morning. First time in a month. I played a lot of poker the last month, just for fun poker. But last night was the first time I won anything in over a month. I mean, I've been running bad. That's what they call it. He's about 12 years younger than Biden and Trump, I guess. Yeah, if they would just don't put green energy on a back burner. Just help out the oil and gas industry, and once we get some inexpensive petroleum flowing, that will fix a lot of stuff.
Morning.
Hey, Mr. Sadie.
Good morning. Did you show
24.
them your big sale, your big unique sale?
No,
I didn't
I'll
know
do
what
it.
that was either. I thought it was a pot holder myself.
A pot holder. Okay, I'll share a screen. Let me go to it first. It's
Let's see if
unusual to sell something that you had no idea it was worth a lot of money when you got it.
let's see if anyone can guess what it is.
Okay. Already alluded to
Oh, did you? I got here late.
it in the title. Do, 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 do. Okay. Share screen. Here we go. I did put free shipping on it. It only weighs about 6 ounces, 8 ounces.
Is that right? Jeez, that's crazy. You got that kind of money for that.
I guess because it's a Native American artwork.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I mean, it would have piqued my interest, but there's so many copies of that kind of stuff, and at every craft store you can imagine. I just wouldn't know to pick it up.
Well, I didn't either. This was in with a bunch of other Native American stuff like pottery and those little dolls. Who would have thought?
Right.
Who would have thought that would sell for? And when the buyer bought it, they put in a message that said, "Thank you very much. Like, I got a good deal."
Right. Yeah, if someone's into stuff, I mean they're happy to get it. It's That's eBay for you though. You just never know.
And it's like going to Flagstaff, Arizona, so it was bought by somebody who ought to know what it is. So anyway,
Yeah, that's a good sale, man. That's really unique. I like it.
yeah, there
That's
was
the kind of stuff
other
I love.
there's other artifacts I haven't listed yet. Like this is supposed to be like a club or a tomahawk head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is some kind of pottery. It says effigy fish, Middle Mississippi
Looks
location.
like a butt plug.
It's just a pottery bowl thing. I don't I don't I don't get how it looks like a fish, but I guess there's kind of a
Yeah, I
thing
don't
here that
know.
looks like
Maybe
kind of like a little fish head. But yeah,
maybe
there
a
was
dinosaur neck. Looks more like a dinosaur neck to me.
looks like a butt plug, petrified turd. This, I guess, I don't know. You can see it's been worked, and this was I don't know. It's like a club head or it wouldn't a tomahawk is sharp, isn't it?
Well, I guess over years and years and years and decades and centuries, it would.
Could have worn the sharp end off.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Either way, if that was tied to the end of a stick and you got hit on the head with it, it probably wouldn't feel good.
No, it's gonna hurt you. I've got two big pieces of petrified wood. I mean, they're remarkably heavy. They're like 30 pounds a piece. They're small,
Yeah,
but they're so heavy. Uh, I don't know a lot about that stuff. I haven't listed them or anything.
yeah. I still got to list all this other stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, it kind of does look like a war hammer.
There's no telling what stuff is worth.
You got to make the right guy with the right item, and you can get ridiculous money for stuff.
Yeah. Here's another piece. I have no idea. It's got a chip in it.
That's all cool stuff. Where'd you get that stuff at?
This was at a church, not the Lutherans. This is at the Presbyterian church. They have a garage sale about once a year.
Oh wow,
This is
Felix thinks
Roosevelt
you robbed me.
polychrome, date about 1300 to 1500. That's older
Wow,
than me.
me too.
How would they know? I'm going to look that up right now. I just now got that paper out.
You
How,
might
I
have something real special there, brother. I don't know.
don't know. ROOSEV. I just Google it first. Uh, you're calling Interpol? For what? I robbed a museum. Oh, okay. Roosevelt polychrome, which just means many colors. Roosevelt polychrome Native American pottery. Roosevelt red. I don't know. I'm looking at some of this and I go, I don't know if that looks like what I got or not. Here, I'll screen share again.
Okay.
Waiting on Popeyes. They got Popeyes in Saudi Arabia? I guess they do, or he wouldn't be waiting on it. That was a dumb question.
Popeye's chicken.
Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Oop, crap. I just erased it. I meant to highlight it and I hit the X instead. Okay. Good thing it saves my search in the thing. It saved me a couple of seconds. What the heck? Roosevelt Redwares and Salado Polychrome. 1275 to 1450 in the Southwest. Roosevelt Redware. That doesn't look like it. Tonto Basin Salado Polychrome Pottery. Gila
Getting closer.
Polychrome. Tonto Polychrome. I wouldn't know which one to call it. Cliff Polychrome. 9 Mile Polychrome. Phoenix Polychrome.
Looks like you got some orange in yours. Is that orange or what color is that? Yellow or
Los Muertos Polychrome.
pastel?
Yeah, it's kind of an orange and black, and that's about it.
Kind of pastel looking.
It looks like a Viking ship almost right there. Did the Vikings go to New Mexico? Those look like little houses or teepees or something. I don't know.
I don't even know how you'd price that, Todd. I don't know.
I don't either. And I think this stuff is genuine because it was together with the basket and it was together with the those I showed you the Skookum dolls, didn't I?
I don't recall.
Those didn't sell. Here, I'll go get one of those. They were all together in one thing, and I said, I'll buy them.
Yeah.
So I did.
You did good. If you don't sell anything else, you did all right. I don't know what you paid, but I'm assuming you didn't pay $125 for all of it.
No. I mean, it was a church sale. I thought I was paying up. I gave them $40 for a whole bunch of Native American stuff.
Oh, yeah, you did great.
This is called a Skookum doll. This is made in the USA. This was like 1930s and 40s souvenir shop stuff.
Yeah, I've seen those dolls before. Not yours, but I've seen those types before. But that pottery and stuff, that might be something special, Todd. I don't know.
Why is the doll overweight? I don't think it's overweight. I think that's her arms in there. Or maybe she's already carrying another papoose in her belly.
Yeah, it's her bambino.
There's a papoose. Anyway, yeah. Isn't this a great conversation we're having?
I know, right? Actually talking about reselling. What's wrong with us?
Hey, Scan to Freedom, what's going on? Did I sell a robot? I haven't even listed the robots yet. I need to get them listed. You remember the robots, right?
Yeah. I've got a real cool pilot's lot of a pilot that I may have talked about the guy before, but he was in World War II and he helped invent a lot of stuff. He's wrote books. I've got all of his photographs. I've got a bunch of his research slides and things from when he was making stuff. And oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That
That
was
looks
from
pretty old.
when? I don't guess it is. Got a barcode on it. This is kind of a
Oh, a repop.
repop. But people are selling them for like $10 a piece, and I've got, how many did I say? I've got like 20 of them.
Oh, damn.
Do, 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 do. Yeah, I stole all those from Italy.
Lag says he passes on that. It ain't worth 1,000. Lag's gonna pass.
And the reseller talk makes you sick.
Sick or tired.
Well, my Amazon stock took a nosedive yesterday.
Did it?
Yeah, Amazon for some reason put out a prediction that this would be a really slow holiday sales. So when Amazon says it's going to be a slow holiday season, guess what happens to its own stock?
Right, right.
Buy Twitter. Yeah, I hear that all the CEOs and everybody are going to jump ship when the deal goes through with um,
Isn't that kind of like manipulating the market? Because you know they own a bunch of their own stock, probably, right?
Elon Musk. Yeah, I thought that deal was off. I thought Elon
No, he
pulled
got.
out of that deal.
I think he's back in now.
Really? What, he was just waiting for the stock to go down so it wouldn't cost him as
Yeah,
much?
I don't know. He's in and out 2 or 3 different times, so I lost track. But I did hear he's getting into it with the employees on Twitter, or trolling the employees on Twitter. I heard or something. I don't.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't like him
Mark.
at all. Apparently.
I got on Truth Social, but I don't watch it. I don't. I read it very much. I
I
should.
need to get on this one. Yeah, I'm not on there. I need to check it out.
They've got some good articles, and then they've got some people who post that are a little too far right.
Also, they approved the purchase yesterday. It looks like Scan to Freedom says. Well, if you got Twitter stock, maybe it might go somewhere here soon, up or down. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I have. What have I got? I got like 120 shares of Amazon, and it took a big dump yesterday. It's back below what I paid for it, and I bought it at a pretty good price, I thought, because last week it was up some.
I don't think it's going to be a great fourth quarter for anybody, Todd.
Well, people can't afford fourth quarter what they could afford last fourth quarter. Last year at this
Um,
time, the stock market was just going up, 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 up. Gasoline prices were still only about, what, 260, 270 a gallon.
right.
The
I mean,
electric and
just my
heating
house.
bills were not as much as they're going to be this winter.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh God, it's
Well,
down
yeah,
another
everything.
$14. Oh well, I
I'm
bought
just
it.
hoping
I
after
guess
the
I'll hold it
election.
until it comes back.
Yeah, I would at least hold until after the elections are over.
I think if any company should make it through a recession, Amazon should. I mean, think about it. If Amazon goes under, Who's going to pick up the slack? Walmart?
Well, and you never really know with these companies. If they show a loss a lot of times when they don't have to.
What did Mark say? Mainstream news and propaganda news is going bye-bye.
What state are you in, Anissa? There's the beard. The beard has arrived. That's who we need in here. He'll straighten it out.
He'll fix everything. The beard knows it
He'll
all.
fix it all. He'll fix it all.
I don't want to go back to last week's conversation, though, because I got chewed out so bad. I may have said something about forgery, but I'm not going to bring that up in this show.
Right. Keep it clean today. Keep it clean. It's Friday.
All right.
Let's,
So what was
let's make it quick.
What was last week's conversation? So I don't get you in
I
trouble?
mean, yesterday's conversation. I asked one little simple question yesterday, Scott, and then trying to find the answer to the question, I got blasted in my ass by 24K, by lag, by
What was
everybody. Everybody was on my butt about it.
What was the question?
My question is, if you bought something 10 years ago and you sell it on eBay,
Yep.
if you have the receipt, can you put it on 2021 taxes, cost of goods?
Absolutely.
Aha.
That is your cost in the item. So, even if it means you sell it at a loss, it means you lost. That is unless it's an item that's depreciated. If it's not a depreciable item like a car or something, that is your cost of the item.
Well, I was asking because I've got some coins I want to sell.
Yeah, that's.
But I acquired the coins.
Before you started reselling?
Yeah, a long time ago. Well, some of them I just got a couple of weeks ago that I'm selling. But if I can't take off cost of goods, then it's not worth it for me to sell the coins on eBay. And it's probably not the greatest place to sell it on eBay anyway.
Yeah, it's what it sells. You can take it off your tax. That's correct. Yeah, it's your cost like anything else. It doesn't matter whether you bought it today, a year ago, 10 years ago. And so that's part of the problem that a lot of the government is trying to get around is mom and dad buy a house for $20,000 and leave it to the kids and the kids sell it for $1 million. What's the cost basis that the kids have? The kids should not be responsible for all that. The estate. So that's why depreciable assets are not included. But if it's just durable goods.
But yeah, and this is saying I also have been taking cost of goods that I bought. Like I bought 200 vacuum cleaner filters a couple of weeks ago. They are not all going to sell this year, but right. I took cost of goods for all of them this year. And everybody says, well, that's okay, but you can't switch and do it different in another year. You got to stay with that same deal.
Yeah, you've either got to use actual cost or average cost, one of the two. Man, politics is so much. So I actually made a Twitter account again last night for the first time in a couple of years, just to laugh. Oh my God, Twitter's wide open right now. So Elon kind of pulled the switcheroo on him. He told him, we'll be done next week, maybe Friday night at the earliest. Yesterday at noon, he locked all their engineers out of the code because the deal was done, and he took over yesterday afternoon. He fired the CEO, the CFO, and then that bitch who banned Trump. She got fired too, and
Nice.
legal counsel. You pay for
Nice.
I thought they
So
all
he
just
did.
quit. He fired them. They didn't quit. He fired them.
he fired him.
Okay.
So it's a done deal finally.
You know, there's some outlets trying to be nice, saying that they're leaving and not going to return. He fired their asses. He's
That's awesome.
So if you look at the Twitter and their workforce, you know, Twitter doesn't they've not made any money or lost money for quite a while, underperformed. They have 8 times the staff of most social media companies. So he said, I'm going to fire 75% of y'all. Get ready. You got to come to work. You got to come to the office. He said, I don't care if you work at home. Anything over the 40 hours, you work in the office.
That's great.
Hopefully, we'll find out some things
Yeah.
because the one interesting thing yesterday is you realize that his companies are the largest. I believe they're the largest military contractor, at least for an individual. He is. He's got all those engineers and rocket scientists that work for him at Twitter and everywhere else. They just got a hold of the code for Twitter to figure out what the hell's been going on.
What's the deal about a sink?
It was some joke you made about carrying a sink in there. He carried one with him.
Elon?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch it. So what was that supposed to be representing? That we're going to make a clean wash of this thing? More Americans out of work. I don't feel sorry for the CEO. He probably made enough money on there to live well the rest of his life.
I don't feel sorry for any of them woke bastards.
Evidently, he had. Evidently, there was some meme that was mostly famous for about let that sink in, and so he was just making a joke about here I am, let that sink in.
Is Paul Pelosi the husband?
Oh, Nancy, that's Nancy's husband.
Yeah.
Somebody beat him up.
So I saw an interesting video yesterday with Elon talking. Evidently, there's a social media platform in China that does it all. Most Chinese are members of it. You know, you pay people through it. It's kind of a social media platform that kind of does everything. And he made the comment about, you know, nobody uses WeChat over here, so you know maybe we just copy WeChat and give it to the American people. So it'd be very interesting to see what he's going to do with it.
Yeah, I don't agree with everything Musk does, but he's got a little bit of common sense. That's all that matters to me. You know?
Okay, so that Larry, you said something that's very profound that youngins just don't get. You don't have to agree with what everybody says. You know that's the beauty of America and free speech and free will and the things that you have in this country. You are free not to agree and to decide what your opinion is, and that doesn't mean you hate that person just because you don't agree on a certain. You know, I think Trump was wrong when he backed the red flag laws. But that doesn't mean that I hate Trump or I don't still support him. You know,
Yeah, 100%.
it's there's, and that's the you've got to accept me. You've got to approve everything I do. If you don't, you hate me mentality that's just ruining this country.
Yeah, it used to be that way. Now it's one side or the other. You know, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, because we are all independent thinkers. Hell, I don't agree with everything Joni thinks. Joni is way more liberal in her politics than I am. I've been putting up with her crazy ass for 34 years.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, he sent the first go round, didn't he? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a shame what people that go to war over, just the silliest stuff. I mean, hypothetical war,
But
war of words or.
I keep telling anybody who will listen to my channel on the crazy old bearded man, if you hear what everybody's saying, the shit's in the next 6 to 8 months is going to turn awful. I mean, that's the one thing that I'm kind of fearful of. The Republicans will come in, the Democrats have saddled us with so much even more debt, and when the economy turns to hell next year, they're all the news is going to blame. Oh, look what the Republicans do. They're in charge, and look, because we have 25 days of diesel supply on hand. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's scary, Scott.
Uh, you want to grind this country to a halt? Yeah, start our ability to move things around with trucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
even though even though Biden took credit for it not doing anything with the train strike, that was a crisis averted. I can't imagine what this country would be like without the trains running. Holy shit!
oh yeah.
Yeah, imagine
Well, they
if the
said what they
trains and trucks stopped during COVID. How
what they
much
say the
worse
trains
would
were,
it be?
Scott, like 30% or something of the.
It's it's a
Uh,
it's a huge number of durable goods. Okay, so if you live out here on the East Coast, you don't see them as much. I just got back from the West Coast. It's amazing how many trains are from the West Coast coming to the Midwest and to the East. I mean, you'll see these trains that are half a mile long. I saw several of them that had five engines on them to pull these trains, and they are double stacked with tractor trailers all the way down. It's amazing how much goods go across on the train.
Yep.
yeah, and what's scary is we've had issues lately with almost every uh, port of transportation. I mean, the barge, the container barges, the trains, the truckers, the post office. I mean, all these things. I mean, we're out of business without two of those.
Shoot, you ought to see the coal trains that come through our town. The full ones are going west and the empty ones are going east. And I bet there's 10 going each direction every day.
Yeah.
Imagine if they shut the coal fired electric plants around here, what would happen to the economy? Oh my God.
Oh, everything. It's stuff that we don't even think about that gets supplied by these things.
And if we don't fix the problem of the fertilizer and allow these farmers to grow crops, you know, so we've had a bad year with the crops this year because of the lack of fertilizer, and they tripled and quadrupled the price of it. The problem is that's a next year problem because you're actually the crops that you're eating now are from last year or have been stored. It's moving forward with the lack of. Okay, so I heard. So Buddy was talking on channel the other day. Said that shit's coming. The company he buys most of his stuff from, he sells most of his stuff from, can't get paper. Cannot get paper. This is a company that's anywhere from 600 million to $1 billion company. Cannot get a raw material as paper right now. Cannot buy it. Everything they make is dependent on paper.
Yeah, it's scary.
Oh yeah, he's in a little bit of a panic because he's got 2 months supply.
I guess. Yeah, that's a big business. That kind of money.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm?
What does he make? Does he just make?
Uh, Things for cars.
Oh, okay.
The car sales.
I got
I,
you.
ju- I just brought up a chart. Corn production is going to be down 5% for 2022. That doesn't sound like a lot, but
But just
yeah,
look at wheat and what they've done with wheat
yeah. You add that to wheat and barley and
with what they act
rice.
like is the 51st state, Ukraine.
Well, produce is a very volatile market anyway. I mean, if the rain goes the wrong way, I mean, it's very, very volatile.
Azure Blue's got the right plan. He's got 1,000 rolls of
Uh,
toilet paper.
okay, so pardon my French, but the Hodge twins, they've been tweeting all morning. It's the playing field is finally level here again, and then right out 2 minutes later, they tweet, and I apologize in advance. Women don't have dicks. Love them or hate them guys, man. They are just. COVID was engineered in a lab, and China leaked it to the rest of the world. That's their next. You know, this is not the view of the channel. YouTube, don't ban this channel, but that's on Twitter. The Hodge twins are just. I mean, it's
They're funny.
the election was
Yeah,
stolen. Uh, I mean,
I'd like to go see them guys.
it's hard, man. They came here several months ago, and man, the tickets were just gone.
Yeah, they're hot item. They
Al
speak
just
what's on
got
their
his
mind.
Popeyes. Love that
Oh,
chicken
we
from
finally got it.
Popeyes. He got his order.
What was that?
24K. He lives in Saudi Arabia, but he got his Popeyes. Sweet. We don't even have Popeyes in my little town. We have Chicken Express. Yay.
Yeah, we've got a couple Popeyes,
Yeah, we got a couple.
and they are always busy, man. They are slam busy. So, so Felix, I went to Vegas, and I checked into an old hotel for the first couple of nights, and I sat down on the toilet, and that toilet assaulted my rear end. It sprayed water all over me. Uh, you sit there, you walk in, and the seat lid lifts up automatically because I guess it's got a motion detector on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the button when you're done. It sprays warm water. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I put on TikTok that this hotel had sexually assaulted me. And then weird enough, I found one at a yard sale the next day. Is that weird that you check into a hotel with a bidet, and then I find a bidet at the yard sales the very next day?
Every hotel bathroom in Italy had a bidet in it.
And yes, the bidet is new. I would not buy a used bidet at a yard sale. I have some standards. Not many, but that's one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. Normally I would be yard selling today, but there was one. I'm like, I'm not leaving the house for one yard sale.
I was gonna say today's. Are they winding down at all? What's your weather been like, Scott?
We're in the 70s. They're winding down on Friday. Last Friday there was two or three. Today there's only one. But there's a couple neighborhoods tomorrow. I mean, last Saturday, Harlan, we went till noon, so we had quite a few last.
I think of estate sales when we get into fall weather for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, so Felix, I don't think that the crazy Southern man is used to the bidet because it had two buttons. The one button was for the back, and the one other was for the front. I don't understand why when I'm sitting on the toilet I need my balls washed. Yeah. But okay, if the toilet wants to, if that's what it wants to do.
I think if you sit back real far, you can even wash your face.
Stock market is green.
Yeah,
It's got to be green for a long time for it to help me back out.
Did I see your question? No, Ron, I didn't see your question.
Ouch. Amazon is down $11. Jeez,
Ron, ouch. No, Nancy would not become VP. So the way it works is if Biden steps down, the VP takes over, which is that's like the world's worst nightmare. They need to be
Yeah.
they need to be impeached and both of them go away. But so Camel Toe would take over. Then Camel Toe would have to decide who she wants to be her vice president, and then that person would have to be approved by the Senate. So it's the just because Nancy is third in line, she's third in line to the presidency only if something happens to the first two. So that only way Nancy to become president is if something happened to Joe and Kamala. Say they got hit by a nuclear bomb or something.
Hmm.
I can't think of
Yeah.
any other example where they both. Because I don't know if you noticed, but most of the time, except for events in Washington, the president and vice president are hardly ever together, and I think that's a security thing. So that
Right.
if you keep them separate, you know, and I'm as much as I hate Joe and much as I hate Kamala, I wish them no harm. I
Oh,
am.
absolutely.
I just want them to be out of politics and out of government. I just want them gone. To
Right.
go. I
Yeah.
want them to
Yeah.
retire and go live out their lives, living as normal Americans, not in government. But if something were to happen, and I do not wish this, but there are lots of safeguards in place that you rarely see the president and vice president together. I don't know if you ever paid
Yeah.
attention. I live in Alabama. That should have been that should have been a clue.
I was talking to my neighbor. He owns a shop across the street from my shop, and he's an immigrant, and he's a liberal. And we were talking yesterday. It's a perfect example of being able to get along with someone that you don't agree with. And he was saying he heard Kevin McCarthy talking about canceling Social Security and canceling Medicare or something, which
That's horseshit.
didn't sound right.
He never said that. They said what happened. What he heard was that he heard mainstream news say, if Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans take over Congress, they're going to cancel your Social Security. That's what he heard. But he in his
That,
mind he turned that to Kevin McCarthy is going to do it.
yeah, I
Because
explained all that. I explained all that to him. I told him the exact same thing. That's just what they say. And the Republicans say that they say stuff about the Democrats in the same way. Just to be fair, it does happen. Uh, but yeah, I tried to explain it to him, and I kind of left it at we're just going to have to agree to disagree because some people just don't get it.
they don't get it till it's too late, and that's the problem.
Right,
You know,
right.
I don't think the right wing the crazy 10% on the right are good. The crazy 10% on the left are terrible. The problem is the 10% on the left have taken over all the Democratic Party. The country is much better in the middle. The 80% in the middle that covers everybody is generally where we are very successful. But something's got to be done about this government. The government's out of control. Look at the FBI, what the FBI is doing, the Department of Justice and the IRS. They have weaponized the government against a certain segment of the society, and that's wrong.
I don't know whatever happened to center politics. It just golly.
Yep.
I agree with you. I think the country's mostly center, and
Yep.
the government just doesn't seem to get it on really. I mean, really on either side. But obviously, I believe that the Republicans have it are more center than the Democrats are. But really, it's both sides.
So right now it looks like. So I was watching Greg Gutfield last night. I just watched his monologue last night, and he was talking about some studies that have come out, for the generations below us and how we think that they're just absolutely insane, the millennials and below. But if some of the studies started asking them, what do you say in public and what do you believe in private? And there is a 25 to 40 point difference in leaning conservative to these groups in private. They just don't have a set. But I would tell them that they need to grow a set, but that means a crazy difference right now in this country. But
Right.
they just don't. They'd rather be liked than stand up for what they believe in right now. And at some point, you hope
Yeah.
that'll change. You hope.
I hope so.
Because as much as they want to tell you the generation behind us has gone crazy liberal and woke and all that stuff, they really haven't. but they have not. They are not vocal yet. They have not found their place where the stand up and say. But a lot of them are. If you look around at these school board meetings and stuff, now that it's affecting their children, as the millennials have children, and they go, wait a minute, you want to you want my kindergartner to put a dollar bill in a trans's G string? Are you out of your mind? I mean, this stuff is starting
Right.
to. You want to teach them 1619 project and teach them to hate other kids just because of their color? I mean, if you look at children, go look at a kindergarten class. All the kids play with each other. They don't see color. You have to teach them hate. You have to teach them color. And the sooner we eradicate ourselves of that and realize people are people, it's,
100%, Scott. I agree 100%.
it'll absolutely be amazing. You want to see America take off? Yeah, quit. Have the government quit having everybody fight against each other over trivial things. I live in Alabama. I'm supposed to live in one of the most racist states in the country. Yeah, right. I live in a mixed neighborhood. I love my neighbors. I don't have problems with anybody. I hate people based on if they're a sorry person or not. It ain't got nothing to do with their skin color. I know way more sorry white
Yeah.
people than do anything else.
Yeah, me too. I judge a person on their character,
100%. I'm too old to be dealing with all that petty shit anyway.
Yeah, me too, man. And what worries me is if we let this radical crap go on too much longer, it's going to start sinking into our younger generation, and it's going to be hard to change.
See, the problem is you got to do something. Twitter is the first domino. You got to do something about the Mockingbird media because their whole thing is if they repeat a lie over and over, it becomes a truth. You go ask anybody on a young, is Trump a racist? And they'll go, yeah, Trump's a racist because that's all they've heard for the last 6 years. Trump's a racist. Trump's a racist. And they go, okay, so why is he a racist? And they'll look at you and go, I've seen the interviews. And then you'll go, was it when he financed Jesse Jackson's run for president? Did that make him a racist?
Right.
When he put the first black woman in charge of building one of these skyscrapers, did that make him a racist?
Right.
If you look at everything he's done and the money he's given to the black colleges and on and on and on throughout his history. The problem with Trump is he likes people that get results. If you don't get results, he's done with you pretty quick. He doesn't care what color you are. But they've painted him as a racist, and now it's going to be a hard one to overcome in a lot of people's eyes just because the media has said over and just like they're trying to do a January 6th.
Yeah, they've tried so many things, and hopefully, they're trying to get something to stick where he can't reverse it, and it's. And he just responds off the cuff, which isn't always the right move, in my opinion. I think there'd be better ways for him to respond, but and that's a lot of the reason people like him, also, because he just
to me is very
says what he thinks.
To me, it's very refreshing to have someone who's not a politician, who is a business person, who's not who's not playing games. It tells you like it is.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Felix, that's right. I'm a racist. I hate white people. There's very few people I dislike. Just you gotta realize I worked in fast food restaurants for 25 years. I dealt with people of all walks of life, from all ages, all ethnicities, all anything, and except for the one kid whose brother Rob put my gun in the back of my head and I fired his ass because you can't work for me if your brother robs a store. Other than that, everybody else had a fair shake.
Right. Yeah, that'll do it.
That was a lot of fun.
Well,
when the kid I recognize his brother because he's a drug dealer, even though he had a mask on, robbing the store at 2:00 in the morning. So I fired him the next day, and then his uncle comes up there and wants to know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm like, wait a minute, you paid me to run this store, go away. That was my boss. My boss was his uncle. I'm like you can put him at another one of your stores, but he ain't working at this one.
Right, right.
If your relatives robbed the store, yeah, they're out. That was a shenanigan. Whenever a nephew of the supervisor of a franchise robs one of the stores, yeah, that went over well.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'm the same as you. I've lived and worked in St. Louis my entire life, and if you got racist in your blood here, I mean, you might as well just move.
Snoop 2024.
You need somebody, and the problem with all the previous presidents is they've all been lawyers, they've all been politicians. Nobody has been, the United States government is the largest business in the world. You need somebody that's made business decisions, understands, how to get things done, and actually has some experience supervising people and putting people in charge. That's Trump started a little slow by listening to the wrong people and putting some of the wrong people in. But once his last 2 years, when he finally had people in place, until they shut it down with COVID, um, if they didn't bring out that manufactured mess, this country we'd be well on our way to righting some wrongs.
We should have never shut down, Scott, in my opinion.
Never should have shut. Never listened to Fauci.
Yeah, we should have protected the vulnerable and the old, and that's where we should have focused our energy and money.
You're 100% correct. You don't quarantine the healthy, and that's the way it's always been. You never quarantine the healthy. If you look through history at how they've dealt with so-called pandemics, there have been some pandemics in history. This wasn't one of them. This was a pandemic. This was not one of them.
Yeah, definitely man-made for sure.
The scary thing is now, I was looking at some charts last night of the unexpected deaths that are occurring. If you want to really be scared, go look at the number. The higher the death rate is right now, just unexpected death compared to what it was been 15, 16, 17, 18. It's scary. The curve is on. We're gonna lose a lot of people, and it's. I hope y'all remember times that you're gonna lose friends, family. It's gonna be awful.
Yeah.
For no reason. I've seen it happen here. It's affected me greatly.
Here too. Yeah, I've had a lot of close friends pass away in the last year or so. And seems like every other week I'm going to a funeral or hearing about a death of someone that should have never passed away.
100% correct. Red Fox. Yeah, I love me some Red Fox now, man. That's why they want to know why is Gen X so tough and gets along with everybody and doesn't care. Look what we sat at home in the 70s watching the TV we watched, the Jeffersons, Archie Bunker, Red Fox, and San Francisco. It was okay to make fun of anybody. They made, man, poor Julio got made fun of so much. And then the Jeffersons and Sanford and Son made fun of white people. The white cop on Sanford and Son. Oh my goodness, that dude he had good comedic timing because he bounced off anything Red Fox threw at him. It does take talent to be the one that's reactive. And if you don't remember the crazy neighbor in the Jeffersons, the white guy with the black wife, that was just great characters on TV.
You ever hear that? You ever hear that comedian Theo something, Scott, the younger guy, but his name's Theo something. He's a comedian, and he talks about race a lot, but he talks about being poor mainly. He says we didn't have time to be racist. I was like with all the black kids telling him, "Hey man, you want to share this plum?" I mean,
oh yeah, the Theo. I've seen him.
Yeah. That's him. He's off. He's off the chain. He's good.
Yeah, one of the few that'll actually it talks about. I love watching. His name just his name just slipped. I was watching him last night talk about Shaq. What's his name?
There are a few people that still believe in, just making fun of everybody. Bill Barr, Bill Barr, is that his name?
Yeah. Oh, it's freaking Cat Williams. Cat Williams is crazy, by the way.
Oh, Cat Williams. Yeah, she's good.
Cat. He was talking about Shaq, and Shaq's got all this money, and what does he want to do? Shaq, you can't be a sheriff. You're too damn big. 7 foot of me, trying to get out of a car. How about show me your license?
He was great in that movie Grown Ups when he was the police officer.
Yeah. But it's it really is. So if you've never seen if you haven't seen the What Is a Woman by Matt Walsh, the movie the documentary they put out as he went around the world and all over asking different people what is a woman.
I've seen clips of it.
Have you seen the clips of the old man?
Oh yeah.
There's an old man about Mr. Sadie's age.
Damn.
He says, ask him whether he's gonna do pronouns and all this stuff. He says, I'm not doing it. He goes, Matt Walsh asked him, but what about their feelings? You hurt their feelings. He goes, I don't give a damn about their feelings. And, and then Matt asked him, he goes, so, well, then how do you know that you're a man? He sits right, looks at Matt and goes, well, I guess it's because I got a dick.
It should be that simple. You know what I mean? It really should be that simple. I don't get it.
If you watch the clip of that guy is absolutely. So Felix wants the link again so he can prove we're all racist. So shoot Felix the link so he can come in here and tell us how bad we are. He's probably going to put one of these $100,000 watches up here and tell us we're racist because we won't buy it from him.
Right. Hey, he was the one making fun of the call taker people last week, not me.
Trump just put out a statement that said, yeah, Twitter's probably going to be smaller, but way better. Just now, I just got that notification from
They asked him if he would get back on Twitter, and he said no. Okay. Didn't they, Scott? Ask Trump.
Yeah, he said he would not go back on. You find him on True Social. And if you look, True Social has been so successful so far. He has almost recovered all the money he lost as being president, or a good chunk of it.
That's awesome.
Here's a good picture on True Social.
Felix, he wouldn't give you the link, so I stuck it in the chat for you.
Oh, sorry. Here we go. The man, the legend, 24K Arabia Felix, all the way from Saudi Arabia, United States of America.
We got Scott and Felix on the show. It's going to get good now.
Am I in here now?
Oh, yeah.
You're in
did
here.
You finish your chicken?
Yeah, that was good.
That looked good. Made me hungry.
It did look good.
I don't know anybody, Tamara, that uses Twitter. I generally look at things on Telegram. All right, Felix, we're ready. Prove us.
He's getting his watches out.
Can't hear you for some reason. It's kind of low.
Trump is the Azure Blue. Trump is the main stockholder, and
I think you guys were just talking about Twitter and got some things a little bit wrong. Twitter's never made a cent in their whole history. It's actually a losing company. And the only reason you would buy it is for control. So
Yep.
if you want to look at what's going on, you need to go look at who's backing Elon Musk to buy this at such a loss. Now, he started to fire people, but what he then realized quickly is that by firing them, he's actually having to pay them millions and millions in dollars in compensation because it was part of their agreement as a long-term contract. So he's actually changed that now. If you look at the recent headlines within the last couple of hours, you'll see that he's actually talking about keeping them on board and working with it.
Yeah, the problem is Twitter is so employee heavy. They have 8 times the staff of normal social media companies.
It doesn't make money.
I know, but all he's got to do is put in a new set of rules, and once they violate it, he can.
There's no system. There isn't a system in Twitter for it to make money.
So
that's he's going to have. He needs to change it to where it's like, you know, where they can start doing advertisements and start. But then that's going to lose what Twitter is.
So have you?
Like I said, it's really more about control. Twitter is control. You by buying into Twitter. The only thing I'm trying to just say is the fear is that buying Twitter is buying control. That's all it is.
So are you familiar with WeChat in China? By any chance?
I am.
I think that's going to be what his model is he bought Twitter because I think he looked at it, and in order to build a social media like WeChat, it was much easier to buy one and change it than it was to try to build it from the ground up.
The only difference between Twitter and WeChat is that WeChat is the only one operating within China, and it's government controlled.
But it also takes payments.
So it's a government sponsored thing. You have to. Every company in China that wants to operate in China has to invest in that company or has to advertise in there. That's just a way of getting into the good grace with the government. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no, they take payments. So you could, if I wanted to send you money, I could send it through. That's a difference. Twitter does not do that yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that Twitter would need to do. But
right.
Like I said, the whole operation of Twitter or having Twitter is control. It's control of the information that people will get. Now, what kind of information you're going to get, what kind of stuff, we don't know. But you need to look at the people from behind. I mean, you know, it's easy to say this is right and this is wrong, or that but you know, things aren't always better at the other side. The grass isn't always greener. This might just end up being worse than what it was. That's just how I'm looking at it.
It can't be worse.
Well, if you allow for misinformation and you allow for manipulation and you allow for hate speeches and you start to put people one against the other, it's going to lead to something.
So let me get it straight. If both sides have an equal chance to put out their views, one side is going to be right. I mean, misinformation.
Okay.
Is
wait. Okay, I'll take that. Let's take that one point at a time. Both sides have the right. Both sides will. But I'm as a person who's a outsider looking in, I'm not going to get to see both sides. The way that it's done is they will look at the algorithm and see that I've been following it in a certain way. So I'll just be bombarded with the things that I want to see. I will never see the other side. That's the issue.
Well, the problem is now, and why it's worse, is because right now, if I have a different opinion, I'm not even allowed to say it because So what is disinformation? The COVID vaccine will prevent the spread of the disease. Is that disinformation? You're damn right it's disinformation, and we were fed that bullshit for 2 years until they finally come out and said, "Wait a minute, we didn't test it. It really doesn't do that." They fed a lie. So you got to watch. Who was the one in charge of saying it's disinformation is the problem.
Well, the thing is, disinformation has always been happening since the turn of the century, right? It's not something new. The Nazis were the first to start using disinformation, and they were the first to start using corporate communication and public relations, and they took over that whole genre, and that was used again and again by U.S. administrations, whether it was for Vietnam or Korea or for whatever else or whatever other reason that there is. Misinformation has always been there. It's just now we're getting to the point where it's so huge, you don't know what to hear anymore, and it's becoming a risk for us with our own children. The vaccine is a perfect example. So why are we looking just at the COVID vaccine? Well, what about MMRA? What about, the other vaccines that have also happened? Aren't there stories about how they're causing autism and they're causing this? But it's the general good over the general bad. I'm just trying to figure out what the argument is.
So here's my counterpoint to you: is if you think it's just the Nazis that have used the propaganda, every government uses it. Every
Oh, no,
government,
I didn't say it's only the Nazis. I said it was started. It was
but it
started.
started. They perfected it, and every government has
Correct.
used it. And so now, if you look at what misinformation is, it's generally a view that does not the government does not support. Have you noticed that every bit of disinformation is opposite of the government view, whether it's the truth or not? You should be able to hear both sides and ascertain what is the truth. Um,
Yeah,
just
but the
here,
thing is, sometimes I'm not the person who. What I'm trying to say to you is, okay, I'm just talking from medicine right now. I'm not the right person to be making I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not. So you want to be able to hear, or in the past we were able to hear from doctors and believe what they were saying. Now we're having, I'm even arguing with my own wife over, she wants to use this supplement. And, I do research and I find out that this supplement is bad, and she thinks it's good. So we don't trust the doctors anymore. We don't trust. What are we supposed to do?
well, the problem is you only hear doctors of one side. Look what they've done to the frontline doctors. They persecuted the frontline doctors for telling you the truth about COVID. Where is the disinformation? You look at Twitter. Twitter's disinformation board was all leftists. They all had the same agreement. They all looked at it the same way. There was no right wing organization to go, hey, wait a minute, that's not disinformation. I can prove to you that that's a lie. They just strike it down, and that's why free speech wins. Free speech is the right to say what you want when you want, and you have to be the one to make up what you believe, what you don't believe. My
Well,
dog.
like I said, when it comes to issues of politics, when it comes to issues of sports, when it comes to issues of anything else, fine, I can agree with you. But when it comes to issues of medicine or expertise in fields that we're not experts in, how?
Okay, so this country and
How do you
most
want me to make a decision like that for my children? Forget
so
you. Forget the decision you make for yourself, because that's you. We're adults. But what about children? The little kids, the 5 and 10 and 15-year-olds. What do you want to say to them? I had
Well,
a
I think
19-year-old going to university, and his choice was he either gets vaccinated or he sits at home. What do you want me to say to my kid?
all right. Can you sell a watch?
Hold on. And now for a special. Here we go.
See,
I knew we'd see a watch.
here's the problem, Felix, is the CDC, who we're supposed to be able to trust as watching out as a they're not from the government, but they are an advisory group to the government, and they help form a lot of policy, has voted 19-0 to make the COVID vaccine mandatory before kids go to school. They know that kids don't need this damn shot. They know this shot is more dangerous to kids than it helps, and yet through politics they have forced all 50 states now to decide whether they're going to mandate this. 21 states have already come out and said, "Man, screw this, we're not doing it." But now, how many kids are we going to harm in misinformation? That is misinformation, that you're putting this shit in the kids. You can't trust the government. That's why there has to be a voice out there of dissent that says, "Hey, listen, you might want to research and for yourself and figure this. Don't trust what you hear until you verify it."
Well, my whole thing is back when they really started all this disinformation campaign, they didn't have enough evidence, and still, in my opinion, don't have enough evidence to say one way or the other. I mean, vaccines used to take years and years and years to even get any kind of real data on, and they push these things out so fast, and then they want to tell you that you're wrong if you have a different opinion. But then they shut anybody down with a different opinion, so you can't hear the other side. So what are you supposed to do? I mean, and then they make it law, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the state about Anissa, you're gonna have to move to a free state. The state of Alabama has already told them. Most southern states, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma. I think Missouri's already told them to go screw themselves. Texas.
Yeah.
But there are 21. I can find you the list of the 21 states so far. It might be more now, but there's at least 21.
I'm pretty sure Missouri's in there. Josh Hawley's in Missouri, so.
I got problems with Grandma, our governor, but she told them not on her watch. You can't move. You only live.
And they're such hypocrites. It's just, they're such hypocrites.
And that's the problem, Felix, too, we have is you're not getting the truth. You're getting what's the highest bidder is paid. Information from the government is who has paid the most money to get in front of these damn politicians.
Well, and it goes back to like what Felix said earlier. All these social media platforms, they are power, and so they can push out any narrative they want.
You wanna trust Pfizer? Pfizer is the most penalized company financially. Over $2 billion in penalties they've had to pay for lying, misleading, wrong shit. And now we're just supposed to trust them to this vaccine, give it to every kid in the country. And whether we've already called them lying because they didn't test it, this stuff has not been tested.
Hell no, there's no long-term data on any of this stuff.
Hell, there's no short-term data because I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that the last booster shot, it killed all the animals they tested it in, so they went ahead and approved it anyway, just like they did the last ones.
Well, and the short-term data doesn't do much but prove them wrong, so they want to suppress that information.
An ounce of platinum. What's an ounce of platinum worth?
An ounce of platinum? Jeez.
He just showed his 100-gram gold bar.
An ounce of platinum is $958 an ounce.
So that's less than gold, or?
Yeah, it's less than gold.
I thought it used to be higher than gold. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it used to be higher than gold. That's why I invest in platinum.
Oh, okay.
Platinum's always been 30 to 40% higher than gold. But ever since they started fighting the Russian economy, and they've been doing that for over 15 years, they've tried to crash platinum because 80% of platinum from around the world comes from Russia. It's a way of controlling the Russian economy. So what they've done is they've taken palladium to over 2,000, whereas palladium is a byproduct of platinum. So there should be, there's way more palladium in the world than platinum.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to invest,
I thought it used to be quite a bit.
If you want to save your money, you put it into gold. If you want to invest, you invest in platinum or silver.
I can fix politics in 3 steps. Three easy changes you can make to politics to fix politics in the United States of America. You make lobbying illegal. You get the money out. You make lobbying illegal. You put term limits on Congress. And number 3 is you make it where you can fire civil service employees like regular employees.
I don't disagree with any of that.
You want to fix politics? You make it where you can fire these entrenched government employees for all the wrong they do and the horseshit.
I have a different solution.
Well, mine involves no bloodshed, though.
Well, mine doesn't require any bloodshed either. You need to reform the electoral system so that it's not the first person past the post that gets elected. The second thing that I would do is you need to remove funding into politics. As long as there's private companies and people that are able to fund these, it's going to continue to grow. You need to cut out all the advertising and all the BS that's being paid into it, and you need to give them equal time on a public channel, like the PBS or whatever that we used to have back in the day. So take the money out of politics, and you'll get politics back, real politics.
And I think I think debates need to be the law. I don't think they should be able to be avoiding debates,
100.
public debates.
A guarantee. Otherwise, how are you supposed to make up your mind?
So
Exactly.
I'll give you a pass.
And they should. And sorry, just one more thing, just to add to it, which is something that used to be done back in the old days, and that is they need when they come in, we should register all their equity, whatever it is that they own, and when they leave in 4 years or 8 years time, that's all they can take with. That's all they have. Their businesses cannot be making money.
Now, all you have to do is if you audit every politician and their family members once a year, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll give you a pass for not living here right now. You can't mess with the Electoral College. The Electoral College protects. It's a huge protection, and once you understand what it was, if without the Electoral College, New York and Los Angeles will control everything in this country. You take the
Well,
vote.
the thing is, I didn't say take away the Electoral College. What I said was that you need to fix the first past the post system. So what I'm talking about is not removing the Electoral College. You can leave the Electoral College to be there. You can have the same system that's in place. It's the way that we elect people that's going to be different. And in my system, I want everybody's vote to count, not just the 51% that voted for one person and the other 49% vote don't count for anything. That's ridiculous.
So it's
that's half the population's vote don't count.
But it's
right.
So, and it's a little bit controversial because it's happened already in the U.S. They've tried it, and they've been talking about it in a bad. But I think it's actually a more fair system, and that's what they just did in Alaska.
And it was a disaster. I can't.
They say it's a disaster, but actually studied. I did my master's thesis on this.
Yeah, but the problem is in Alaska is you can manipulate. That opens it up to manipulation. You should not reward a person who gets second place votes. We want the winner take all. We don't want. You're talking about the
winner take all. The only problem you're having and you can see it now. The winner take all system ends up having people on the left, people on the right, and you guys can't see eye to eye. So I'm an outsider looking in, and I can see the two of you guys are just standing there getting ready to fight each other. Come on, you're the same people from the same country. You speak the same language. You have the same culture, the same heritage. You have everything. You need each other to live, and yet you're at a point where you're about to kill each other. For what? Talk to each other.
That's the media. That all that's driven by the media. You see that craziness. That is the liberal left. The crazy liberals from the left. The 10% from the left. I run into none of that on a daily basis. I get along with everybody I run into, no matter the political approach. And Huntsville, Alabama, once you go into town, is a Democratic stronghold. But once you come out of town, you're back to Republican Alabama. But I can tell you right now, if you look at the way Alaska went,
aren't you both? Aren't you all just Americans? Aren't you all Alabamans? Aren't you all? Why do you want to break it down to left, right? Why do we always have to label somebody? That's just as an outsider now. I'm just asking.
Well, yeah, in theory,
Aren't you trying to build the same nation? Aren't you trying to build the same country? Isn't your success their success? Your failures their failures?
Yeah, but
or are you guys going to separate?
But the interesting point you made is the first one to 50% win. That's the same thing Alaska did. We're going to keep counting until the first one gets to 50%.
Yes, but at least that way, everybody's vote counted.
It counted 3 or 4 times instead of the
Correct.
one time it counted.
It's a list system. It's basically a list system where you put a list of who you would want to vote for in order of 1, 2, 3. And then as number 3 drops out, you take the count and recount those 3 and you put his votes into 1 and 2. So actually, everyone gets a say. Look, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm trying to see how there's a way to unite people or to align them at least to think that we're in the same boat together. That's all.
The problem is the person who got the most votes lost. The person who got the most votes lost. But
in reality, he didn't, right?
He did.
He got 30,000 first votes. But he ended up losing because within the second vote, the other person ended up having 90,000 votes or something in that sense.
Sarah Palin got the most votes and lost. allowing the second and third place and counting and carrying on. First place winner lost.
Well, if you want to see it, the list system is being used in Germany. It's being used in Scandinavia, and there's less fighting or infighting with it. They still have them, but it's just less.
You want to know why? Because the people that want to control the world, the powers that be that want to control the world, know that this country must fall. Once you take out the U.S., you own the world, and so
Yeah,
they are using every trick in their book, everything they can throw at the United States to tear us apart. Because we would hold this world up as a free country, as a free world. Without the United States of America, kiss the world goodbye.
but remember, Beard, when we discussed it last time, great societies or great civilizations are always destroyed from within, never from an outside.
Oh,
How do
and
you fix your issues from? I mean, forget what people are trying to do and manipulate you from the outside. Look where you are inside.
the problem is truth. You got to get back to what is true. What is truth? Truth truth in this country, in this society, and is not. I mean, they are tearing apart the fabric of truth right now. I mean, and how many genders? There are two biological genders. I don't care if you identify as a sheep, a squirrel, a rabbit, whatever. You are a man or you are a woman based on your biology, and and it's stuff as simple as that they are trying to redefine what you know. Every they're attacking every part of truth. Once you lose truth, then what do you have? That law and order is based on truth, and law and order is being destroyed every day in this country.
I think the biggest problem is social media, in my opinion. It, you know, the internet, for being such a great innovation, has really corrupted a lot of things, and not just in this country, but around the world, in my opinion. I
Well,
try to keep
that's,
my grandkids as far away from that crap as I can. You know, my
I mean,
grandkids,
if you just think
they
about
still
how when
shovel
we
they still
if
shovel
you
goat shit and they feed cows every day. I mean, they get
yeah,
outside. They're not on their phones. I don't allow it, and their parents don't allow it. We're old school. I mean, they get their phones and they get their time and this and that and the other. But I mean, look at some of the stuff's going around on TikTok nowadays. I mean, you got kids dying in 16-year-old, 15-year-old kids dying in car crashes from a stupid challenge.
I rushed.
It's
I actually had to take my 9-year-old to the emergency room because of TikTok or YouTube. I don't know which one it is, but you know those little magnets, those small, really hard magnets.
That's TikTok.
He saw somewhere where if you put two in your tongue, one above and one below, it looks like you've got a piercing. And he wanted to scare his
oh
mom,
my
and
god.
he put it in there, and then he actually ended up swallowing one. And I just rushed him straight because it was there. I was scared he had two, and they're so strong they could tear up his intestines if one was on top and one was at the
Oh
bottom.
yeah.
We spent like 5 hours. He
Right.
had to have 3, 4 X-rays, and then we waited 5 days for it to come out.
Because they would fight each
Jesus
other.
Christ.
The polarity, they'd fight all the way through the system. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's terrible. But yeah, that's my point.
But
I mean, golly, this
but
and these
but yeah,
kids, they
Sadie, to add to your point, it's the same thing with us. Look, when we were growing up, our parents didn't have the fear that we have today of our kids going outside. We have a fear because every day we see something happening on social media, something crazy that you would
yeah.
never see. It's a once in a lifetime thing. But then you start thinking about, oh wait, and then all of a sudden you start locking up your own kids.
See, social
It's
media is this news cycle that shows this to you every day. This same shit's been happening. We just didn't know about it.
Yeah,
If you want a great
exactly.
if you want a great example, go back and look at the 70s with the Night Stalk killer in California. The reason why he was able to kill so many people is because he crossed jurisdictions. They didn't communicate jurisdiction to jurisdiction to put all the
right,
evidence.
right.
And so you see all this stuff as it happens, within minutes. And so it creates fear in people that because in the 40s you didn't see this, the 50s you didn't see this because they weren't available to do it live and like it is now. So don't. It's not just that it's been evil has always been here. Shit has always happened. We just didn't know about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I mean, it started out as such a great thing, sharing information, being able to quickly let someone know something, talk to your loved ones in a different country, blah blah blah. But now we've turned it into something it's just all about this person against that person, and it's ridiculous in my opinion. I don't know. I can't stand social media. YouTube's the only thing I do.
So
I'm not on any of the other platforms. I just don't go down that rabbit hole. My life's too short, in my opinion.
So to bring this back to reselling, it's anonymity. So Amazon's had a problem in their forums. Their forums have gotten real. People have been real snippety, angry. You don't know. You don't have to use your seller name, so you don't know whose advice you're getting. They changed it now where you have to use your seller name in order to do anything in the forum, so you'll know exactly who you're dealing with, and you can be held responsible. It's
I heard
being
something about that. Yeah.
Well,
so
they just passed a law here where anyone who's receiving money to put anything up on social media has to declare it or will be jailed and fined a huge fine.
it's anonymity of social media, anonymity on the internet, where you would never say the crazy stuff you say to somebody in person. Because you're hiding behind a made up screen name, and you think you can say whatever you want, no matter how hateful it is.
You mean keyboard? We call those keyboard Rambos.
Uh, Whatever you want to call them. In person, they get punched in the face.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
They learn very quickly that.
And they're the people out there telling kids to put magnets in their mouth.
Well, there's more. There's even manipulation to that. There's actually people that are paying money to have people go in and create these. Right?
So,
They would go into. I mean, they could even be part of that organization, but yet they want to create a negative perception against it to show that they need more support or whatever it is, and then they start fun. You don't know who you're talking to online. That's why it's pointless, really. You see these people arguing back and forth on chats and stuff. You don't even know if that's a robot or someone. You don't know who that is.
Some 12-year-old kid in his basement. You just never know, man.
Yeah.
It could be lag. You never know who you're talking to.
That's true. All right, Carol. Carol says she's meaner in person and she's nice on social media. Okay, so you're way meaner to me on social media. You're really nice in person, so I don't want to hear that.
I don't know how that's possible.
But so Felix, I think nothing more or nothing less of you from this conversation. And this is the kind of conversation, instead of the one-sided mess that we've had. And this is what a lot of people are arguing for, that you need to hear both sides of every comment. We have taught all these damn college students to look at Matt Walsh. I've been listening to his blog lately. He is going around college campuses with his movie, What is a Woman, just to talk to college students. And so Night for a Lass, he was in Madison, Wisconsin. And they painted graffiti all over the campus. These are the protesters. They tore down signs. They set off the fire alarm so many times his microphone never worked in the auditorium. They bum rushed the stadium. A lot of them got in. They couldn't get them out, and so they just ended up heckling during the whole thing. This is what the other side. I mean, one side of the political aisle does, because they don't want to hear the other side. You've got to hear both sides and then make up your mind. If you've been sold a bill of goods, you need to hear both sides.
Something that my dad always taught us was, if you want to argue with somebody, you need to argue from their point of view, not from yours. So you have to learn what their argument is, because you'll never convince them if you use your books or your discuss. You have to use theirs. So it was always about learning. You should always learn what they're saying in order to be able to put your argument forward. Now we don't listen. Everyone is just shouting at each other.
And that's the whole thing. They were trying to shout over it. It was just ridiculous, because he made a documentary about What is a Woman, and his position is same as mine. The problem is you talk to the left and go, what is a woman? They want to tell you, well, it's a feeling. It's what I identify. It's my identity. No, what is a woman? They can't tell you because if you define the woman by truth, the crazy one that went and had a meeting with Biden this week, the trans girl, whatever, the one on TikTok who's TikTok famous because he decided that he wanted to be an adolescent girl, and he's made 288 TikToks of being an adolescent girl. So Joe Biden, the president of the United States, wanted to talk to this guy. He's given 28 interviews, and one of them is to this person. It's just insane.
Yeah. And I'm like you, Scott, like you said, I don't know, earlier or maybe yesterday, but I don't care what you want to be or what you think you are or who. It makes me no difference. Just don't push it on me and my kids.
Well, but isn't the issue here evolution?
Yes.
Don't we today have an evolution where you have man boobs, where women after 60 they start to the body starts to look more like a man? So doesn't that have to count for anything?
I think that has more to do with like hairstyles. Doesn't it have more to do with like hairstyles and stuff? Most older women, my mother's one of, all the hair and stuff. They just cut it short like men because they're done with all this craziness. That would be.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't even think the gay and lesbian community are down with a lot of this nonsense going on nowadays.
Junk, man boobs is not too much soy sauce. It's that GMO modification they put in chicken.
Did it taste good?
Look it up.
You just ate it. Did it taste good?
Oh, hell yeah. That's what makes the chicken so big. That's what makes the chicken so big. Have you ever seen it? By the way, that's something that you guys will. That's something that you guys will never notice here. Our chicken here is way different than chicken in America. Chicken throughout the world is different than America. And your chicken is like a turkey. Chicken here look like a frog. They're so small.
Yeah, how else are we supposed to eat chicken wings if they're itty bitty?
Yeah, you got to juice them up, man. Put some juice in their food. I tell you what, that's the last serious point I'm going to make, but I think the problem is we don't hold parents accountable anymore for their children. A big part of the problem in this country anyway. I mean, back in the day when I was growing up, if I got in trouble, my parents got in trouble. You don't see that anymore. If I missed school, they were knocking on my parents' door. If I got, whatever the case might be, you were responsible 100% for your child until they turned of age.
Even after
nowadays,
even after they turned of age, it's your son. No matter he could be 45, and if you didn't raise him well, the whole community is going to ostracize you. You didn't know how to raise your kid.
Yeah, because I remember,
and that's the way it should be.
My grandfather told me that I've done best to protect our family name. Don't you ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it should be. I mean,
but
now they're just.
The root.
They're letting 3-year-olds decide if they want to be a woman or a man nowadays, and it's out of control.
And I think a bigger problem too is the government is trying to replace you as the parent. They are actively trying. There are all these people in government who think they know how to raise your kids better than you, and so if they think you made a mistake, they want to take over and put themselves, government to step in. The DSS or whatever they call them. We have a severe problem with. I mean, there are children that need to be taken care of. There are bad parents, but there are so many instances where we don't allow parents to be parents because they see things a little bit different than they might not be exactly normal cookie cutter parents. A religious background comes to matter. If they don't want their children to do this. They go, but that's detrimental to the children, to the child's the developmental growth. We need to have them in a foster home where they can be abused by a bunch of other kids and be normal.
Right. Yeah.
but the
Well,
government.
my boys are grown. My boys are grown men now, but they hold a door for a lady. They respect their elders. I mean, just common sense stuff. They don't ask someone if they're a liberal before they hold the door for them. I mean, they do it for everyone. It
Look,
just the world's gone crazy, man.
if you want to look at what I'm talking about, do some investigative work on the history, the black family. Look at the black family 1940, 1950 into the early 60s. And it's a lot like the Mexican family now. They stick together. They, if they have problems, that there was no divorce. They had the lowest out of wedlock births of any race. And then Lyndon Johnson came in and with the social money and with all the social programs, and the government replaced the black father in the black family. And now look at it's out of control. I mean, from out of wedlocks to baby mama, baby, all that stuff is because the government stepped in and tore the black family apart on purpose.
Well, they were doing better in every way that mattered because they had basic morals and values. It's just crazy.
And it's happening to the white family right now. Look, we're on the same. We're a decade or so behind, maybe 2 decades behind, but it's happening to the white race right now.
Oh yeah, that's happening across the board now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, before
We've got too much government.
My dad's parents, my grandparents, if they had a problem, the family pulled together and helped somebody through. But it was, they didn't depend on anybody but themselves. And now, it's everybody wants a handout from the government. They think they're owed.
That yellow brick road is just wrong because my wife won't even pay me to babysit. Most of the time I'm babysitting for free. That ain't fair. I don't get how 30 seconds of fun can lead to all this work.
On that note,
yeah, I got to get to work, but it's been.
Wait, are we finished? Can we sing a song before we go?
God bless America.
I wonder what you are. What
the hell is that? Where's the mute button?
I thought we were going to sing Kumbaya.
None of you sang. See?
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Yeah, I've forgotten the words to that one. Sorry, 24K.
Yeah.
I'm so old, I forgot the words. All right, folks. We'll be back on Monday morning on the same bad time, same bad channel, maybe a different topic. The last 2 days, oh no, we'll come back to politics. Okay. Whatever. Hey, you can't say I don't have an open forum. All right. I am not controlling the free speech running around in this room today.
I don't think anything crazy was good.
Nah. All right. See you next week.
Some guy called me a socialist. Has he seen how much gold I had?
Bye, y'all.